Welcome back live to the KF1 circuit here in Kranji, Singapore for the opening round of the 2020 Rok Cup Singapore and Asia joining the Rok family. And remember, the winners of our mini, junior and senior classes at the end of the season will be off to that big final in Italy. And these are the 14 youngsters lining up in our mini Rok and little Rockers grand final. And on all the evidence that we've seen so far today through early morning practice, qualifying, the heats and the pre-final, Russia's TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV is going to be a very tough nut to crack. Kart number 25, the one to look out for. There's been glimpses of class from NICOLAS, STATI and EMILIANO, CYRUS, but they're going to have to go some to get the better of TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV. And must mention as well, QARRAR FIRHAND of the Kartmaster team, driving an intrepid kart. The youngster who's only officially a little rocker, racing out of Indonesia, has certainly shown glimpses of real ability, although sometimes decisions not being made at the crucial time have just cost him. If not for that, he may well have been starting on the front row. As it is, he's P5 as the MRT train goes past. We're in the Kranji district of Singapore, adjacent to the magnificent Singapore Turf Club, where yesterday there was top class horse racing. Today we've got top class horsepower here at the KF1 track. Stand by as we get our grid starts underway for these final races. The Mini Rok, the KF1 GP, GP50 to follow, then the Expert, the Junior and the Senior GPs, bringing the curtain down. An incredible weekend of karting here in Singapore, live on the One Play Sports Network. Formation lap is underway. Must also mention our valued sponsors, of course, the team here at KF1 and the irrepressible Richard Tan, such a huge supporter of motorsport in the region. And since its inception, the Rok Cup in Singapore in 2015, it's gone from strength to strength after its early origins in Italy. And this incredible course as well has given the drivers plenty of challenges. Thanks to our sponsors, Bridgestone Tyres, your journey, our passion. F1 Auto Cars, a dream driven by passion. And Orient Watch, our timepiece friends from Japan, as we get ready for the first of our finals in this incredible track designed by the world famous track designer Herman Tiki. And away we go. And they're trying to put pressure on the Russian early. Let's see how they come out of the first couple of corners. It's kart 25, TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV, where he's been for most of the day, out in front. Even when things have gone wrong, he's managed to recover. But there appears to be an early challenge in behind NICOLAS, STATI and EMILIANO, CYRUS. EMILIANO's made some daring moves already this afternoon. Can he try and get close enough to this Russian starlet to make a big move on him here? And also keep an eye out, if you're just joining us, for car 13, Katrina E, the only female driver we have on the track today, as the formation lap is now underway. Yellow flags. So to run you through the grid positions: P1, TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV, Russia. P2, NICOLAS, STATI, Australia. P3, EMILIANO, CYRUS, Singapore. P4, Aki of Thailand. P5, QARRAR FIRHAND of Indonesia. P6, Taiyo of Thailand. P7, Jacob LAUTER of the USA. P8, STEFANO. P9, DILLAN. P10, Martin HERRERA. And P10 makes a decent start. There's plenty of scrimmaging in behind, but over the first couple of corners, and it's TIMOFEY who manages to hold out the lead. There's a couple of drivers who it's not gone right for. NICOLAS, STATI is amongst them, but it's definitely gone right for the pole setter and pole getter and the early leader in the Mini Rok final of the 2020 opening race in Singapore's Rok Cup. TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV leads the way. Aki of Thailand up for second. And that's the closest he will have been. Green flag, I can see as they levelled out. NICOLAS, STATI's actually recovered that slot he lost early on. He's now back up to second, and the race begins in earnest with the pace setters now flowing away. So TIMOFEY with a reasonable buffer after the first lap from NICOLAS STATI in second. Aki now down to third, EMILIANO CYRUS in four, Taiyo in five, and Jacob Ethan Lauter up one place to sixth spot. But already 0.3 of a second between TIMOFEY and NICOLAS chasing. Doesn't look that much to the naked eye, but these boys, and Gale of course, are going at such speeds that even 1/10 of a second takes some overhauling on this track. They'll race in this grand final over 18 laps. Previously the pre-final over 14 and the heat over 12. And there's a huge gap you can see after the mid-pack. Oh, we've had someone stop there. Now let's pick up this number. Now was that kart 9? I think it was CONRAD GARROW. Things going wrong for CONRAD all round. He was already occupying bottom spot. He's got issues, I think, with getting the kart moving, and fortunately he didn't appear to impede any of the other drivers too badly. So everyone still just about going. Let's try and pick up CONRAD a little later on to see if he can manage to get his kart moving again. But at the front you can see he's not exactly strutting away early, TIMOFEY. NICOLAS STATI is close enough if good enough, and Aki's done well to get third. Bit of a break back to EMILIANO CYRUS. He was the real loser after the melee at the start. But look at this, he's having a look at TIMOFEY here, is NICOLAS STATI. And the Australian doesn't intend to go down here without a fight. It's TIMOFEY 1, NICOLAS 2, Aki 3. Aki just recording the fastest sector 1 time of the race so far, 19.1 seconds. And he's got this gap down now, STATI, to 2/10 behind TIMOFEY. Now is the Russian just toying with them? Has he got the pace to pull away again? Or is he going to be in for his biggest battle of the day? Because up to this point, we were struggling to find a challenger for him. But now, potentially, we could have two. 12 laps to go now. And TIMOFEY still leads. NICOLAS STATI in second, Aki in three. And it looks at this stage like, barring accidents, these will be the three drivers that make up the podium. EMILIANO CYRUS is going to have to find a big chunk of time after things not going right for him at the start, but find a chunk of time is what he's doing. He's just recorded the fastest lap time of the race so far, 50.829 seconds. So maybe I'm being premature in ruling out EMILIANO CYRUS from the podium, but he's still got a couple of kart lengths to make up to the top three. He is doing it though. TIMOFEY, meanwhile, the gap down to 2/10. As he's done all day, he looks comfortable still. But 6 laps in will probably give us a clear indication of whether he's just toying here or going away. He's certainly not toying with NICOLAS STATI now. NICOLAS STATI now is right against his rear end and trying to maybe pull out and take on a manoeuvre here if he can find the gap, and don't rule out Aki trying something special as well now. Here he goes and he makes the manoeuvre and gets it done. A brilliant pass from NICOLAS STATI, and he takes the lead in the 2020 opening round final in the mini rocker category. That was some manoeuvre, and now we're going to see what TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV is made of. He's trying to come straight back. He's also got to worry about Aki back in third, but what a drive so far from NICOLAS STATI. That was some move. And he now leads, and he looks like he's got the pace to pull away just a little bit. Well, this is familiar territory for TIMOFEY in some respects, because early on in the day, in the heats, he was passed briefly by QARRAR FIRHAND, who incidentally in this race is currently just moved up a place into 7th. But TIMOFEY, who held his lead comfortably off the start, just couldn't pull away as he had done in the previous trips out onto this track today, and as a consequence will have to come again, and come again is what he's doing. Oh, he's done it again. And I think they've had a bit of contact there as well. This is wheel-to-wheel racing. Brilliant stuff from both NICOLAS, STATI and TIMOFEY, who retakes the lead. And now is he going to start to try and go through his gears? Not in a literal sense, in a metaphorical sense here. And pull away. Well, the lead has already changed hands now twice. And with still 9 laps to go, don't bet against it happening a third time. Meanwhile, EMILIANO CYRUS continues to creep a little bit closer. He's got the gap down between him and TIMOFEY to a second. So it seems to me there are 4 main contenders in this final of the Mini Rok, and 4 into 3 won't go. One of them will have to miss out on the podium. Which one will it be? TIMOFEY leads the way with only fresh air in front of him, but behind him he's got 3 very capable young karters nipping at his back wheels. And he knows it. NICOLAS STATI's already proved he knows what he can do to get past TIMOFEY once. The key to his race now is not letting TIMOFEY get more than half a second in front, you fancy. That's when the Russian seems to go into splendid isolation. But this Australian, NICOLAS STATI, he looks like he's having another look at a go here. He's got to worry about Aki in third. So, TIMOFEY P1, NICOLAS P2, Aki P3, EMILIANO P4. Elsewhere, QARRAR FIRHAND continues his charge. He's up to 6th. What a up and down day QARRAR's had. And KATRINA is up to 11th. KATRINA E of Malaysia. The only female on the track competing today. But look at that, a beautiful shot of the 4 cars in single file with 7 laps to go. And you do get the feeling that Nicolas Araki are going to try and do something bold, brave. Maybe it will work out, because TIMOFEY looked under pressure momentarily, did regain the lead himself brilliantly. But both Nicolas and Aki will now know if you're close enough, you can be good enough to get by him. The trick, of course, is getting close enough. The gap now, at the last look, down to 0.13 of a second. And they've all got a stream to work with there behind the impressive MIKHAYLOV. Meanwhile, EMILIANO CYRUS, fastest lap of the race so far, 50.724. Is he going to try and poke in? He's trying to go around the outside. EMILIANO CYRUS, who's made some daring manoeuvres today already. Is he going to cost one of the 3 in front of them a place on the podium? Well, this is exciting stuff, with TIMOFEY holding the lead. Nicolas not going anywhere, and EMILIANO CYRUS in 4th now, right up the back of Aki JITRANUWATH of Thailand. Surely there's still one move to come now. They're starting to get low on real estate though, just 5 laps left to go. You can see the lap times, both most recent and best from the drivers coming in, and the interesting one here will be EMILIANO CYRUS. Look at that. Last lap, his best one, 50.724. He's the karter in flying form at the moment, and he's about to go into 3rd, and he does so brilliantly. EMILIANO CYRUS uses that fast flying lap to overhaul Aki to take 3rd spot as it stands. Has he got enough time left to threaten Nicolas in 2nd, or maybe even TIMOFEY in 1st, because he's found some brilliant pace? Has the Singaporean EMILIANO CYRUS of the Autonic Racing team. Is TIMOFEY MIKHAYLOV just playing possum here and getting ready to pull away in the last 3 laps, or will he have to face the wrath of NICOLAS STATI again? And EMILIANO CYRUS has just bettered his best lap time, now down to 50.638. For the first time in a while, the gap is now back to over 0.2 of a second between Timofey and Nicolas. It's a further 25 hundredths of a second back to Emiliano in third. And just like that, another lap is in the books. They're clocking 50-second laps at the moment, so it doesn't take long to drive this race. And the gaps now between first, second and third just beginning to get that little bit bigger again. Aki is struggling to hang on to the tail of them in fourth. Has anyone got a big last push in them to change the outlook of what at the moment will be a podium with Timofey MIKHAYLOV on top, NICOLAS STATI to his right and EMILIANO CYRUS to his left. Here he goes again, EMILIANO CYRUS, another brilliant move, but I think he's taken it back. Brilliant counter drive from NICOLAS STATI, just when it looked like EMILIANO CYRUS was going to claim second. And that private battle between Nicolas and Emiliano has enabled Timofey to just stretch that lead a little bit further. It's going to be as big as it's been in the race, I fancy now. Indeed it is, almost half a second. And all of a sudden now, my word, what a move from Aki. He's retaken third from Emiliano. Well, it's all happening here in the final couple of laps. And EMILIANO CYRUS, who seconds ago was on the brink of taking second, now is relegated back down to fourth, with work to do to get a place back on the podium as they really now start to spread out. Timofey MIKHAYLOV has been the best driver in the mini rock category all day long, and he's 2 laps away from confirming that with the top spot on the podium. Nicolas STATI's given it everything. He's thrown everything at Timofey. Looks like he's going to have to make do with second. The question now is, can Aki hang on to third after Emiliano, who's had a really up and down day, made some big calls, and that one maybe to try and take second will end up costing him third. Incidentally, I must mention again, FIRHAND, one of the little rockers, who is clearly and comfortably going to take that title today. He briefly led one of our heats earlier. He's made a great drive to make up 4 places to be currently in fourth. He's still a long way from the podium getters. The battle now surely is for the third spot on the podium. It's surely Timofey's race. It's surely Nicolas STATI to get second, but will it be Aki of Thailand or EMILIANO CYRUS of Singapore to get third? They're into the last lap. EMILIANO CYRUS has been second, third, fourth in this race so far, and at the checkered flag, it's Timofey to take it. Nicolas for second, Aki for third, and EMILIANO CYRUS, heartbreak for the Singaporean, has to make do with fourth, but a stunning drive nonetheless. QARRAR FIRHAND in fifth, Jacob in sixth, Stefano PEDANI in seventh, Taiyo VLIEGEN in 8, DILLAN in 9, Martin HERRERA in 10, KATRINA E, very respectable 11th place, Ivan TUGOLUKOV in 12th, Max HOELLMANN in 13th, and CONRAD, who had problems during the race with his kart, comes in 14th. But what a great day of driving that was from Timofey MIKHAYLOV, who's dominated throughout and is a deserved winner. Stay with us as the crowd enjoy the scenes here at the wonderful KF1 karting track in Singapore. It's the final races of the first round of the 2020 Rok Cup here in Singapore and Asia. We're standing by for the expert GP, which is up next. Final classifications to come for the mini rocks and mini little rocks. There you have it. Confirmation of the 1, 2, 3. Subject to the stewards giving it the green light. And the story of that race really, Timofey MIKHAYLOV coping with that bold move from Nicolas STATI, and then EMILIANO CYRUS going to try and steal second, which ultimately may well have cost him third.